20. 10. 5.
Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream as we preview a Porto game. This time we're looking at Braga away, and I'm delighted to welcome back for the first time since being on the preview for Boa Vista at home. It's Nino Torres, commentator of Goal TV. Nino, yellow, welcome back.
Yellow, Matt. Thank you for having me on the show. Very excited to preview this massive clash between Porto and Braga. My computer is going nuts here. I don't know why. I have not a lot of notifications going, but I'm okay now. We're good. Back in business.
Great, and welcome to all the viewers that come live and watching on the replay. So we've got a game on. Fourth versus third. Both sides go into this one on 3 points off the Champions League place, 6 points off the top spot, and the other 6 points off Champions League. Let's start on the Porto sides of things first. They've come off the back of winning away at Arouca. I did watch the game, but my connection just happens to miss both goals upon watching. But certainly a game that Porto were in control of. It was a game that it was good to win in the manner they did with the 2-goal margin, and it looks like they're fixing the offside traps as well. It also saw the return of Ivan Marcano, who has been out for a long time.
Whatever.
So yes. So he'll be bringing some experience to that back line. So Nino, a lot has changed since you were last on. Vitor Bruno got sacked. Porto went out the Europa League. And we've had guests such as Rui from the Porto podcast in English. So what has been your thoughts about Porto in 2025? Martin Alsalmi being appointed as the manager, and the previous few games such as the Arouca win?
First off, I think the signing of Martin Anselmi in Porto, since day one, I said this is a great addition for Porto. The Dragons should be satisfied, should be feeling confident about this manager. All right, this is a manager that is fearless. This is a manager that has strong convictions. This is a manager that you're not going to break down. He's been managing press conferences one after another one. He got a tough start of the season with Porto, starting with a Clásico and then with a Champions League game. It's no time for an easy adjustment. Not time for no trial period for Martin Anselmi, and yet the guy is delivering. The guy is making decisions. The guy is switching the lineup to a back three, getting Marcano ready. Yeah, as soon as he was ready, he just took the decision to put it on the pitch, understanding that Porto needs exactly that. They need an experienced guy to run the show from the back in Porto, because since the exit of Pepe, nobody in that back line of Porto has been able to be the leader, and that's exactly what they need now. Porto in the backside of the story, leadership, and that's what Ivan Marcano brings to the table. And I'm pretty sure that Ivan Marcano will start tomorrow I have no doubt that Guzman Marcano will start tomorrow.
I'm sure he will too, but we'll get more to how the defensive structure will look later on in the stream. But as well as Marcano's presence, something else that stood out to me from a defensive point of view for Porto was they were starting to they were getting the offside traps correct. Now, whether that was intentional or not, whether they are playing, whether it has anything to do with their high lines or not, it's something. And having one away at Farenense and Aruca, it definitely looks like the away form is picking in regards to Porto this season, and they will be away to Braga. I'll just get the match schedule up because because I'm going to do something that I've never done on this channel before.
I'm gonna put it on the pitch on the screen.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, here we are. Here was the past fixtures.
There you go.
Yes, seven.
All right.
7 points from the last three. Last two away games, managed to get wins there. Drew at home to Vitória Guimarães, which definitely could have closed that game out. And a bit further back, draws to Sporting CP and Rio Ave, which the Sporting CP draw in particular could affect that definitely affect their title chances. So and in regards to Porto, player absences include Fabio Vieira, who will be suspended. Rodrigo Mora is going to be missing, as will Pepe. And of course, Grujic and Sousa are also still out too. Gonzalo Borges is at risk of suspension. So on the housekeeping front, that's the scenario there. And if we look at the table, Porto currently third place, but within a good distance to Benfica despite the game in hand. And I'll tell you another thing. In fact, so before I do, I'll ask you any other thoughts in regards to Porto before their matchup against Braga.
Well, they've been 5 for 5 the last 5 trips to the Municipal Braga Stadium. They won the last 5 times going in there, and but I don't think that this is gonna be. I think that they're gonna win this match. I don't think that it's gonna be a winner out of this match. All right, I think they're gonna split points. But I'm going to tell you something here. All right, that this is a game that I've been waiting for since Fran Navarro went to Braga, because I am a big fan of Fran Navarro, and since he moved to Braga, he's been on fire. All right, and he's going to play against a team that not one manager didn't trust in him, but 2 managers. All right, the last 2 managers did not trust in Fran Navarro. And he's gonna a golden opportunity to prove him wrong. And if you're gonna ask me if you're gonna bet on something, I'm gonna bet on Frank Navarro's goal. I don't know what's the outcome is gonna be. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be maybe 1-1 to 2. I don't see a winner coming out of this game. But if you ask me what's in there for certain, it is a goal from Frank Navarro. That's what I gotta say.
Yeah, I have my thoughts on Fran Navarro coming up soon. But before we dive right into Braga, there's one other thing I'd like to share, and that is the reverse fixture, because
Right.
last time these two teams played, it was I was there. Got to see
Oh, really?
Galena score and Pepe as well. So yes, thought I'd drop in that bit of road down memory lane. So yes, it's my first and my only time seeing Portuguese football so far in person. But yes, but let's get into the game that's let's get into Braga, and
Uh-huh.
my first thoughts in regards to them has been they've been very up and down in the first part of the season. However, in 2024,
Yep.
I've been seeing a lot more promising signs from them, including when they won away at Benfica, and Fran Navarro, like you mentioned, scored in that game. That might have been his first goal, in fact. And also, they've been bridging the gap from Santa Clara by still 7 to 10 points at the moment. So things are definitely looking good for them under Carlos Carvajal. I watched their last game against Rio Ave. Overall, an all right performance, but Rio Ave certainly were deserving of the win, and tactically and their preparations, they got it right. So I'm guessing, Nino, you've been watching more of Braga than I have. What's been your thoughts about them this season?
So every year we think that this, and again, we starting this season believing that Drag would finally not be in the fourth place conversation, but in the first or second place conversation. It hasn't been the case. You know, one of the main reasons is that I Richard, because it's the lowest and most inconsistent seasons since I'm been calling the league in 2019. Usually he used to carry the team on his shoulders, and the savior, the last minute goals. How many last minute goals have we witnessed from Ricardo Horta in the previous season? A lot, but not this year, and not getting those key late dramatic goals, ending games where they're not supposed to be winning, but they still come away with the 3 points. That differential is not there this season for Braga, and they're suffering. But on top of all that, right? On top of all that inconsistent, they're still up there. Why they're still up there? Because Benfica and Porto, they haven't been consistent either, right? For 4 losses in the season, this is probably the most. How do I put this? The winner of this year is the winner that's going to have more losses than any other team in the last 5-6 seasons. I don't think they're going to get the number of points that we got in the last year, on the previous year, or the year before. All right, and because of that, Braga is still in the conversation with the Big Four. If they win tomorrow, they catch them on Porto points. And we don't know what's going to happen with the Benfica game that they have on hand, and we don't know what's going to happen with the trip of Sporting to Casapilla. So everything is up there. Everything is up in the air. Everything is so close. Everything is so tight, and that's the benefit that Braga is having. Because if we were having a regular season for Porto, Benfica, and Sporting, they would have been 10 points away from the big three, but they're not. And that's why. But in terms of specifically of Braga, not matching them or comparing them with the big three, it's a disappointing season. And because starting from the way that Carlos Carvajal arrived to the team without on all that controversy, finding Danny Sosa after the first round of the competition, it's still there's an asterisk on this campaign for Carlos Carvajal, and they're not gonna forgive you for coming in and replacing the prominent manager like Danny Sosa. I'm telling you this: if they were stuck with Danny Sosa, I think Braga would be so much better right now. Of course, they miss players, of course. All right, but that's not an excuse. And I don't know if we haven't seen the best Richie Horta after 24 rounds. We're not gonna see the best Richie Horta for Braga in the last 10 matches of the competition. Sorry.
Well, as we've certainly been looking, I think this part of the season so far in 2025 has been looking good for Braga, having won all their home games so far. They've won away to Benfica in the league. They won away to their local rivals, Moreirense, and a draw away at Vitória Guimarães. I think that's not a bad point given how well they've been playing this season and the last two seasons. And
right, you look at the numbers. Braga is not doing bad, but if this a convincing team? Is this a championship caliber team? I don't think so.
Yeah, it probably isn't. But I still think in 2025 they've been better than in 2024, and I do want to have a check on Santa Clara's form, which was their main competitor until Braga bridged the gap on them. Yeah, there's some definitely. Won't, but that's a topic for another time. But nonetheless, you mentioned Horta, you mentioned Fran Navarro. There's also João Matinho, who's on the thumbnail of this stream. What other players would you say are worth looking out for Braga?
Well, the problem is that the player that I'm looking out to see is probably he's not going to be there. Roger Fernandez. Roger Fernandez most likely is not going to be in the lineup tomorrow. And
he scored at the Dragão earlier in the season.
And that's a huge loss for them. It is a huge loss for Braga. As much as I like Gabriel Martinez, I don't think that anyone in Braga can bring what Roger Fernandez brings to the table in terms of explosiveness, in terms of diagonal runs, running the flank properly, and then give you that opportunity for counterattacks. No one brings the X factor like Roger Fernandez does for Braga. But the good news for Braga is that in Porto, what's his name? Fabio Vieira and Rodrigo Mora, they're not going to be there. So that's I mean, I don't bring the magic, but you don't bring the magic either. So it's going to be a very grinding game tomorrow. I think that's what we're going to see. It's going to be, lots of fouls. It's going to be lots of grind and blue collar soccer that we want to watch tomorrow. I don't think there's going to be anything spectacular coming out of this game. But the team that makes the less mistakes on this, because this is going to be down to the wire, is the one that's going to prevail. But the problem is that differential is not there, and that's why I'm going for the draw, and I'm also going for Fran Navarro as the differential maker on the game, difference maker on the game.
Yes, fair enough. You have got right into my next question, and that was how you expect to see either game go down. Is there anything you'd like to add add to?
Uh, it's a back three versus a back four, right?
Surely, yeah.
In this case, right? And depending on how well Ivan Marcano runs the show in the backside of the story for Porto, that's who's going to bring the balance for Porto. Now, we were talking about these two, right? We were talking about these two sides, and we've been talking about Frank Navarro, but we completely forgot about Samuel Morodion or Samuel Agenova, however you want to call him, right? And we got Danny Namaso on the offense tomorrow. The question is whether Martin Anselmi will use Eustachio in the same position as he did in the previous game, using Eustachio as a winger. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. We'll see. We'll see. But if he does, I think Porto is losing power on top by using Eustachio instead of using. You got Borges on one side. You got Namas on the other side. So I think that should be the front court for Porto, with Samu on top, Borges on the right or on the left if you want to do it on the left, and Danny on the other side as a winger. That's the best front court that Martin Anselmi can put on the pitch, but I don't know if he's gonna do it or not. We'll find out tomorrow then.
Yeah. Both Danny and Samu having recently got goal contributions recently. That's a positive sign. And as for Samu, having scored from the spot last weekend, hopefully that's a sign of things to come pretty soon.
And Matt, how you feel about your Porto? How you feel about Porto tomorrow going into the Municipal de Braga? You feel
I think similarly to what you were saying earlier, it's going to be a close battle. I think certainly whoever has more possession will have the better chance at winning, because that will mean more chances are created, and therefore more big chances. And but having Marcano at the back will definitely bring some organisation, and he'll be able to organise the other defenders to cut over the points that he's less good at. But yeah, I think we can see a close game. And Braga, they've got something to play for. They've got some players that can make a difference. So yes, and the fact that Braga have won all their home games in the league so far does definitely suggest it's going to be a difficult encounter.
And you asked me about who do I looking forward to see for Braga, and I'm asking you for Porto. Who do you think is going to be the player to watch in Porto, since Rodrigo Moura and Fabio Vieira are not playing tomorrow?
Alan Varela, I certainly think he'll be very active in both the defensive side and on the ball, and that can mean in both. If he may start the attacks as well from a passing point of view, and
No, Samu. Samu.
Yes,
Yeah.
Samu, Danny, both attackers that can do stuff, but at the moment we're a bit in you never know territory. There is one other player that's like coming to mind, and given the absence of attacking players, could we see William Gomez
Ooh, I
have
like that guy. I like
big
him.
role tomorrow?
I like him. Yeah, don't be surprised if he starts tomorrow. I think that's the wild card from Martin Silmi. I think he might be starting tomorrow. I don't think that he's gonna give it to Danny Namaso for some reason. I mean, we know the reason. He's been inconsistent. Danny Namaso so far, not just this season, but since he arrived to Porto, I haven't seen anything spectacular from Danny, to be honest. And but Will Gomez, every time that he enters the pitch, he clicks. He ignites the offense, and I don't know if he's gonna save him to be that uh, explosive guy, disruptive player coming off the bench for the last 25 minutes, or he might be getting a start tomorrow. I don't know. I think that might be the surprise for tomorrow coming from Mantino Simi. That's my take.
Fair enough. Danny, though, hasn't had too big of a involvement statistics-wise for Porto, has shown up in some of the big games, and this is arguably a big game. So we could see him do something influential here. But on Gomez, he's not yet got a goal contribution, but I think we could see something from him soon. Maybe that is going to be this game. As a South American yourself, did you get to see much of Gomez at Sao Paulo, and what was he like?
I haven't seen it much in the Brasileirao. I mean, Jesus, man. Sometimes I watch too much soccer that I can catch on every tournament. And there's Brasileirao is just kind of hard for me to watch because of the game schedule that I have and the other games that I have on the on the lineup. But yeah, I haven't seen it in Sao Paulo now. But since he arrived to Porto, he's been spectacular for me.
Okay, great. Anything else to comment on before we move to the lineups?
No, give me your prediction. All right, give you a prediction. Give me your prediction.
We'll do score predictions at the end, but
All right, good.
as the home team, let's start with Braga. So I will get up their previous lineup, but once my mouse can properly move, it seems to be stuck. But regardless, how do you think Braga are going to line up tomorrow?
Definitely on the wings they're gonna be going with the Garvey on the right and Gabriel Martinez on the left on the wings. But in the back four, I'm going Chisoma on the left, Victor G on the right. We got Oliveira. And how do you pronounce his last name for this guy, man, Matt? Is Ari MB Mbai? How do you say that last name, man?
What shirt number is he?
What's his short number?
Oh, number 26.
Yeah, right. He's an English guy.
I think it might be Array MB.
Array MB. All right. So I call him Mr. Bright every time that I got a call I gave from Braga.
I think he's got heritage. I think he's got heritage from like another country.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I'll get
we got the
lineup up for the
lineup. Gorbia Motinho, Richie Horta, and on top, of course, Fran Navarro.
Yep. So, how many changes would that be?
Let me see. Only Roger Fernandez because he's injured, and Fernandez and Bamboo because I'm thinking Ari instead of Bamboo.
Very well. Now we shall do the Porto lineup. together. So I will get up their team from the last game, but I do think we'll see. Of course, Diego Costa will start in goal.
Joe Mario.
Yes, although he'll be playing further up the pitch. If fit, I'd imagine we see Perez on the right, Marcano in the middle, and Otavio on the left.
Right.
Jean Mario wing back. I would expect to see a midfield two of Stacchio and Varela, Francisco Mora on the left. Any objections so far before we look at the front three? And
this is where it comes tricky. All right.
Yes, because
so who's coming in there now? All right. I'm seeing. I think Will Gomez will start with Borges and someone top, but it might be Danny Namazo. I don't think. My impression is that Anselmi doesn't trust much in Danny Namazo, so I think Will Gomez will have the edge on this one. What's your take?
Given the options, I think we'll see Borges play probably on the left. I think he's a terrible player, but he's at least been having some appearances lately. A lot of the time.
Why do you think he's terrible?
Well, last season he barely played, and when he came on against Arsenal in the two legs, he did absolutely nothing. He's not done much this season. He did get assists against Vitória Guimarães and Roma, but the Vitória Guimarães game, that was just an easy pass, and Vieira then did the work to score the.
So you're taking the credit away from that assist?
Yeah, it's just a simple pass that any of the players could have done.
Okay, all right.
And as for the Roma assist, yes, he did assist an own goal that Danny was involved with, but he did not deliver when it mattered most.
Okay.
He had a shot that went nowhere near the target, and it's not the first time he's done this either. And then, of course, from that one moment, Roma then made it 3-1. He's a sort of guy that, as well as not really doing enough, I don't see him get past players. But usually the best he can offer 1v1s is just win a corner. But I think we'll see him play. Normally I'd do the other winger or attacking midfielder next, but given that's the less obvious one, I'll go straight to Samu, having scored, albeit from the penalty spots. I think he'll start, and then it is just a matter of who's it going to be out of Gomez.
You know the issue that I have with
could even be Andre Franco.
Well, you know the issue that I have with Borges is that for me, I'm not going to say he's a terrible player. I want to disagree with you on that one. But the problem that he has is that he doesn't let the ball go when he should. That's his main problem. All right. If he always take one more step, one more pass, one more dribble, just erase that from your game. And you're gonna be more. Your contribution to the team is gonna be way bigger than it has been. So that's the issue. I think if you talk to him, if you're the coach, you talk, hey, let ball go earlier, and you can start to training on that matter. I think he'll be way better. That's my take on Borges.
I do think we should have sold him in the January window, but he's here. We've not got a lot of other options, and given that he's had a run of games, it makes sense to play him. Although you could argue that you could play two strikers and an attacking midfielder behind, but nonetheless, with Borges off, I don't see him get past players, and often his shooting's terrible. But anyways, there's definitely a dilemma on who's going to be that other player in the front three. On the one hand, you've got Gomez, who would fit the idea of the front three. Would, from a positional point of view, it would make the most sense. But Danny does have more playing experience this season and more contributions. So if I was to guess one, given that William Gomez hasn't made a start yet this season, and we do have quite a big game, I'm gonna say we'll see Danny play. I think he's starting, as well as Samu, and we have seen them play together a bit as well. So I think we'll see same goalkeeper, defense, midfield. In fact, the only change would be Danny in for Vieira, and you said you think Gomez will be in there. I'd be happy with a front three of. Personally, I'd be happy with a front three of Gomez, Samu, and Danny. But we seem to get through a lot in such a short space of time. So I guess before we get to the predictions, one thing that would be worth asking is, what do you think will be the key player head-to-heads will be for this game? So, for example, Moutinho versus Varela, Fran Navarro versus Ivan Meccano, and so on. Which potential player-to-player matchups stand out to you?
It's hard to say on the Porto side, but because if I say Samuel, he depends a lot on how many balls is being fed by the game, right? If he gets that many passes, that many options, man. Well, I'm gonna say Varela. On this one, and because he's been gaining a lot of confidence lately with Martinez. Since he arrived, he's been playing pretty much every single game for Porto, and what we haven't seen from him yet, and he might be the way the game is gonna go. You might need somebody that can shoot from distance, and that's a condition, a quality that has been overlooked from Alan Barry. Like, he's so powerful from mid range, and we might see something like that kind of from outside the box from Porto. I don't see any of the strikers from Porto scoring on this game. Might be, I don't know. I'm saying from outside the box, Varela, or a header from Marcano. That's how I see it.
So you mentioned Varela. Do you think like a key one-on-one player head-to-head could be him against Gorby or against Coutinho? What head-to-head player head-to-head battles do you stand out to you, and like having one from each? Like, so you could say Varela and Martinho is one example. Navarro, Marcano.
But the thing is here,
which one of them kind of stands out to you?
I think Varela is going to be taking care of Richie Horta instead of focusing more on Moutinho. I know that they're playing on the same position, right? But I think Varela holding on Ricardo Horta. That's gonna be his main role on this game. That's how I see Aaron Varela standing out first, controlling, and then the scoring part, the assisting part, the distribution part from Varela is gonna be a different aspect of the game. But I do see Alan Varela disconnecting the soccer circuit of Braga.
Yeah, and with former Porto player Moutinho not being as offensive as he was at the Porto and at Wolves, I think he might potentially come up against Estacio, who will be doing more of the tackling. Varela will be disruptive, but I think chances are Moutinho will be more or battling with Estacio, having heard your explanation of what Varela could potentially do. Any other like specific player matchups?
You know what? I know that many Porto fans don't like Joao Mario, right? Because I don't because he hasn't been the Joao Mario that we know before. But I like him, man. I like Joao Mario. I think he's very efficient when he goes into the final third. And he is one of the fastest players in the roster. So I would not overlook Joao Mario on the wings. I would not overlook Joao Mario on the wings. He's, for me, even though many Portistas don't like him, I like him. Do you like him, Matt? Or would you rather have another player as a right back?
Well, I guess there's the other option with Martin Fernandez, but I'd be happy with Joao Mario to play, having been the more consistent player in appearances under Anselmi. The three at the back and wing backs definitely does suit Joao Mario more, because he's got a better balance of attack and offense, and he's got more license to go forward as well. So, having brought up Joao Mario, how might his responsibilities against Gabi and Chisumba turn out to be like, given that he's playing on that side of the pitch?
You know what? I think the problem is going to be on the other side. It's going to be for Chisumba trying to hold on Joao Mario. I think it's going to be the other way around. I don't think that it's going to be Joao Mario, the one that is going to be more overwhelmed by this combination of players on the left wing coming from Braga. I think it's going to be all the way around. I think it's going to be the right side of Porto prevailing over the left flank of Braga. I think that duel on that side of the pitch is going to be for the Dragons. It's going to be different on the right side. But on this side, I think Braga has the edge on this one.
Yeah. And also Horta against Stacquio and or Varela. That's going to be an interesting player head-to-heads as well. But I suppose we can get on to the score predictions, and I still haven't fully made up my mind just yet. I've got like roughly, I think there'll be 2 or 3 goals in it. But I'll go to you first, given that you're sure on how this can turn out.
This is how it's gonna go, right? I think Porto's gonna score first. Probably a mid-range shot or from the corner kick, and Braga is gonna tie the game late with a goal from Franavar. 1-1. That's how I see this game is gonna go.
That sounded quite similar to a prediction I had for last week when I was doing a preview for the Aruka game. And that sounds plausible for this game as well. Again, quite conflicted between do I go for a draw or a narrow Porto win. And I do see some potential in Braga winning as well, and having won all their home games and one away at Benfica. That helps their case as well. But I think they'll score one goal. And will it be one goal or two goals for Porto? Having been on this home run, and that helps Braga's case. Porto will have 2 away wins in the league in a row, so it's quite tricky. But
Come on, Matt.
ooh, as that I'm tempted to go for a win. And I might even change to that. But more times than not, I've been thinking a 1-1 draw. But yeah, it's a bit of a coin toss. But the safer prediction, I think, will be to go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay. All right. Who's scoring the goals?
Oh, on the home side of things, I'll say Fran Navarro, and chances are, I think Braga will probably equalise, as you said so. And on the Porto side of things, they all have a case. But if I was to pick,
give me 1 second, Mike. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay. Nonetheless, to the viewers watching, it's quite hard not to go for Samu. So I think I will say him. So yeah, I think I will say Samu.
Samu, all right.
But if I was going to go for a 2-1, then part of me is thinking there could be a fairy tale ending with Ivan Marcano scoring. Though that being said, if there was a defender to score, it would probably most likely be Otavio, given he's had his contributions. So I'll say Samu, and if I wanted to change my mind to 2-1, I'll say Otavio will be the other goal scorer.
Okay, all right. So you see, it's like the center back scoring, huh?
Yeah, pretty similar to what happened against Rio Ave, where Perez and Otavio. I don't think we'll see Marcano score, but I think there's a possibility where we see a fairy tale ending to the game where Marcano, having only recently comes back, gets the goal, but chances are I think we'll see Otavio score more. I could see a case for João Mario as well to score, but I'll say Samu. But if I was to change my mind to 2-1, then I'll say Otavio as well. Any final thoughts before we start putting this to a close?
No, it's been good. It's been good. Thank you for having me, Matt. Appreciate it, brother.
Okay. And my audience has grown a little bit since you've last been here, so I'll definitely will address. I'll definitely put this to you. Where can the good people find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter. I'm ESPNino74. I'm also on Instagram. You can find me on TikTok also. All platforms at ESPNino74. Nino Torres Gold TV.
Thank you very much. And I've just seen that I haven't put the link in the description for your Twitter, but I can fix that up now. In fact, I'll put it in the chat in case anybody stumbles across this in the live Eve chat. So it's been great to have you on, and you're always welcome on the channel. And I'll definitely fix the description as well. So your Twitter is in the bio of the stream. So yes, thanks very much, Nino, for coming on. Thanks for everyone that's been watching on the replay, and for those who have tuned in parts on the live. We've got a very good game coming up. What are your thoughts? It's always welcome in any form, whether it be social media or in the comments. Of course, my links are in the description as well. So I haven't really thought of many other streams coming up before the Benfica one, but who knows? We might have another one before then. But there will definitely be a preview stream for the Benfica game.
For the Clásico.
Yes,
Right.
and who knows? And I'll probably chip in with some other content. Definitely the shorts reviews. Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens from there. But thank you everyone for watching, and Nino, always a pleasure to have you on. You're welcome back at any time, and I'm sure we'll see you again sometime soon.
Of course, anytime.
Yes. Thanks once again to everyone watching as well, and until next time, Forza Porto.